In 1 Corinthians 12:21, Paul says, "The eye cannot say to the hand, 'I have no need of you.'" Now, if you look at that verse standing alone, it seems rather odd. But if you place it back within the context of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, then you realize that the Apostle Paul is telling the church at Corinth about spiritual gifts and that all of them are important. Now, a spiritual gift is something that the Spirit of the living God gives to every Christian. You don't get to choose your spiritual gift, and every Christian will have at least one. Some, however, have more than one. And they're used for the glory of God and the edification of the church. Some are very outward facing, like preachers, teachers, and others with very public ministries. Some, however, are very behind the scenes. And those would be maybe some of you. Maybe you have the spiritual gift of helps or hospitality, perhaps administration. Well, I can tell you, someone who's on full time pastoral staff at a church, I don't know what the church would even look like if it wasn't for all the various people who allow God to use them in unique ways so that the head pastor and myself can do the things that God's uniquely gifted us to do. What would the church even be without the secretary or the treasurer, the deacons and the Sunday school teachers, the parking attendants and those who run the AV equipment, the greeters and the folks at our church who cook breakfast and do dishes, the people that sit in the nursery? Thank God they accomplish the gifts and use the talents that God's given them, because it frees the rest of us up to do what God's uniquely gifted us to do. And it makes me think about my childhood. My younger brother was always a big fan of Lego. And if you go to his house now, he's 41 years old, married, has a child. You still, if you go into his home office, are going to be greeted by a number of big Lego builds. My favorite that he probably has is the scene from Rivendell in Lord of the Rings. I've stood right there and looked at that Lego a number of times, and it's thousands of pieces. And every time I look at it, I catch something that I didn't see the last time. And it takes me back to that point of the movie or that point of the book. And honestly, spiritual gifts within the church are kind of like that. You see, the architects and the engineers that created Lego and still design Lego, they understand that really some of the most important pieces that are in a Lego build are the ones that you can't see, the ones that give foundational and structural support so that the flashy pieces on the outside can be held up. Well, you see, friend, it's no different within the church. I'm grateful for each and every one of you that do the unique things that God has called you to do so that the man of God can stand in the pulpit on a Sunday and proclaim the gospel. From civically minded to all of you Christians out there faithfully doing what it is God's called you to do, thank you.